select. Who's it going to be? We'll find out as we move over to Akalon Waste for our third game of this series. Don't forget, there's a lot more matches after this. We have 6 matches in total after this one finishes up. 5 of them will be casted by Mr. Bitter in Rotterdam. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. Game number 3 between JonSnow and Select. Good luck, have fun. Top left-hand position, the red Zerg, JonSnow. He's looking to take the game off of his opponent. Bottom right-hand position, blue Terran. It is Dignitas Select.
I like JonSnow's name, and I also like his Zerg play. I don't know, thoughts?
He's, yeah, I like it too. I think his EVT is pretty good overall.
I think so. I just don't like these early game timings. I think I might like those if he waited until he has all of the roaches before he engages against the bunkers.
I would too. You really need to burst the bunker down.
Yeah.
Because bunkers do not repair all that fast.
Yeah. I mean, if you have 14 roaches, and then the lings have full surface area in the bunker and all the roaches can shoot it, then I think you can kill that bunker in that situation. I think the problem is he just attacks with 8 roaches and the lings, while the other 8 roaches are still en route. And I mean, at that point, it's kind of like, why build the second 8 roaches when the first, I mean, they can't do much because you can't break the bunker.
And especially having the bunker a part of the wall, that means you have a lot less surface area for your SCVs to surround. And just to give you guys some example, like, roaches have pretty good DPS. They have great burst, but pretty good DPS overall. And one SCV will, I think, not repair fast enough for a roach. Like, the roach will out DPS the repair of an SCV.
No, wait, I think that's wrong.
It's 10.
Because, like, think if I have 5 roaches attacking a bunker, you have 5 SCVs in that bunker, you're going to repair it quicker than I can kill it.
What is the DPS of a roach then? It has to be greater than 10, no?
I don't know.
Whatever. Apparently my math is wrong. I'm trying to do it in my head, I guess.
I mean,
that's
maybe
why.
it's right, but it just seems like if I have 5 roaches, I can't break a bunker with 5 workers on it.
That's true. Each SCV is 10 hit points per second. Right? 40 seconds, 400 hit points. So it's 10 hit points per second. That's how it always works for repair.
Yeah.
So I thought for sure roaches have higher than 10 DPS. But
maybe not.
Apparently I'm wrong. Maybe you need 6.
Yeah.
But still, the fact of the matter is you don't have a lot of surface area on that bunker. So if it's part of the wall, I mean, you're excluding a good maybe 4, 5, 6 SCVs that could have surrounded that bunker to defend, but they just can't get there.
Yeah.
So I agree. If you have that increased amount of roaches, I don't know what the threshold would be because it depends on the wall structure.
I feel like when I saw JonSnow's build last game, I feel like he wants, like he's doing the second 8 roaches to protect the lings, reinforcing to get there from the Hellions. But I mean, it doesn't help if you can't break the bunker, because then the reinforcing links are useless.
It looks like ground TPS for a roach is 8, according to Liquipedia. It's okay.
It's not too bad.
It's 5 to 4, 4 to 5, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty large DPS. You need a lot of SCVs to surround that, and especially with the amount of roaches that can surround that bunker when you're looking at really, really tough spots. As it stands, the Reaper opening will be followed up with another Reaper. This is something that we see a lot of times. 2 Reaper opening into a lot of Hellions. It is a gas opening for a Zerg player, as you can see. No further gas is really being mined, just single drone. And from this, it is a 3rd command center as well. No bunker, of course, because the Reapers, but this is a little bit risky. It's already 5 minutes and 30 seconds in, and he hasn't put down a bunker. Normally, you have to defend against a lot of the fancy pants Zergling all-ins that can happen, or Zergling pressure, I should say.
Yeah, but I mean, it can still work out pretty well.
Wow.
If the Zerg doesn't attack, obviously you don't need that bunker in that case, and it doesn't look like JonSnow is going to do that.
Ghost user, again, we have a 2nd extractor popping out here. Is this a mistake? No, he's saturating
I don't think it's a mistake.
I thought maybe like one of his drones were almost dead, but I'm just trying to think back. No, he's saturating them.
Maybe he's going to go for another roach attack.
I mean, he has to, right? Like,
I mean, his only other option would be like 2 base meter or something like that, I think. But
if he goes 2 base meter, the lair would have been started immediately.
Yeah. So I think now it's looking like maybe he wants to do some kind of roach timing.
We'll find out. Just drones so far, no Roach Warren out on the field. Zerglings are going to be microed against some Hellions and Reapers. 4 Hellions, 2 Reapers so far. Not producing an additional 2 Hellions just yet. And there's the Baneling Nest and Roach Warren. So I think JonSnow is a little bit frustrated with getting defended 2 times in a row. Finally says, okay, I'm just going to make 5 Banelings and kill that stupid bunker. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And if he can break the bunker, I think he can do some damage.
Oh, he most certainly can.
In the previous games, Select didn't kind of catch on to what was coming until it was already pretty close to his base. So, I mean, you need those additional bunkers if you want any hope of holding it.
That's right.
After the first bunker goes down, you need other bunkers, you have no defenses.
And also remember that Select went for a double eBay. He's not going to do that this time, but he went for double eBay before the 2 barracks. JonSnow gets in here and sees, oh, no, he doesn't. Okay, well, he sees the delayed barracks, so he knows that it's going to be a 3rd command center rather than just straight up 3 racks before everything else. But I think JonSnow is still in a good position. 9 roaches out on the way. Will he increase that count? Probably not.
I think he actually supply blocked himself a little bit. I would have liked to see maybe 15 or 16, and then just followed up with Ling Baneling. But 9 is still okay.
Oh, he's making more roaches.
I think it was just a slight supply block. He looked at his supply, he's like, 48 out of 60 or whatever. Seems pretty good. And then you realize that can't actually support that many ranges.
Alright, he's pushing out. Zergling's behind there. What will Select do with his Hellions? Instantly, bunkers will go down. Love what I'm seeing. 3 bunkers scattered across. 9 minutes. This is a 9-minute all-in, of course. Zerglings need to be careful. Remember, they're so important to morph into Banelings. And this is a position where I think JonSnow can do a lot of damage, but it's really going to be up to the Terran player. Select, can he defend against these all-ins? Is he well equipped? Now,
I don't know. This one's it looks already better than the previous games. Oh, and he's catching the Hellions.
Oh, wow. Oh, I was going to say the Widow Mines. That's pretty big. I think the Widow Mines here are going to complicate things. Now he's going to approach up. Roaches are going to take a lot of the damage. Will he get the Banelings in time?
So, I mean, if he can get the first bunker.
Yeah, this is still tough. There's only a couple units and everything else. Now taking out the next bunker.
It's tough, man. Like, bunkers
gosh.
and Widow Mines, you need a lot of units to defend this as well, and he just doesn't have enough. There's still about 8 Banelings. This can blow up both of these bunkers if he detonates them in the middle. Oh, but all the SCVs.
But that's some 2 really nice connections with those Widow Mines. Will he be able to clear this up in time? The bunker will not go down, and Select is going to hold this.
Won't go down.
Okay.
So,
shut up, Andre.
I think he will still hold this, though, with that Widow Mine coming off cooldown. Maybe? There's a lot more units flooding in. JonSnow needs to be careful. Oh, pretty good shot from that mine.
Yeah, so far so good. Is it going to be enough, though? 1-1 is almost finished. Just 50 seconds
done
away.
Enough damage at this point, though. He's killed every single SCV in that natural. And, I mean, he has a 3rd base. He's taking the lair now and throwing down double Evo. And he's going to still delay this natural a little bit. I don't think Select will be able to take it until he has a little bit more bio. So I think JonSnow pulled ahead pretty far from this timing.
JonSnow has switched over. Drones galore. Zerglings are on the field, but he's behind in tech. Just now getting his double evolution chambers. Just now throwing down, or at least finishing his lair.
Yeah, but still, I think he's in a good spot. Just because he has that 3rd base up, and look, he already has 20 workers in his 3rd. And that's a good position for JonSnow.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
54 harvesters. I mean, it's not the healthiest harvester count, but he's going to add to that and be at 70 in no time.
But I like what Select is doing. He realizes, okay, I'm behind. I'm probably ahead in tech, but I'm behind definitely in economy. Let's go ahead and try to harass my opponent as much as possible. He makes sure he's going to maintain the upgrade lead, but he's getting a starport really, really fast. He actually switched off of the barracks, realizing, hey, I need that mobility ASAP. So that's so intelligent. Just these little adjustments that pro gamers do to make it a little bit easier on themselves for the games. But he does need to go out in the field pretty soon here. He's just getting the right defense. He's scared of round number 2. But of course we know that's not going to happen for quite a long time.
I think JonSnow might be heading for timing attacks that are mid-game. He has Baneling speed, Roach speed, 1-1 on the way. I think he might be going to do a pretty big Roachling speed Baneling timing.
That will work.
I think
it'll work
pretty well if he can defend the medevac drops without taking damage. Because, I mean, he did a lot of damage earlier. He slowed down Select's economy. And Select is still getting his infrastructure up. He has 4 barracks, but one of them is just now, but 2 of them are just building add-ons now. So, I mean, Select's production isn't going to kick in for just a little bit yet.
Yeah, and Select still hasn't identified this is coming, which is really unfortunate, because if he did, he would not be getting Widow Mines, he would be getting Siege Tanks. That's like the glory unit right now for this particular composition. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but a drop goes into the third base. This will be the first step in identifying what he's up against. Widow Mine will get some juicy connections, but Roaches, Zerglings, in great numbers, will come to meet him.
When he sees this many Roaches, I think he should start preparing for a timing attack, because, I mean, you can play for a macro game with this many, but it's not the best position because your army will just get weaker and weaker as you go into the mid lane game.
Third base is being taken now for Select. And how does he react once he knows that this is going to be a big timing coming in?
I don't think he's realized it yet. He needs to be building more bunkers right now.
He
because,
does.
I mean, look, JonSnow, he's moving across the map, and he's going to morph a lot of banelings. 800 gastronomy banelings, that is. That's 32 banelings.
Wow.
And I think he should be making them shortly.
Well, there it is. 36 banelings on the way, since he did accrue a little bit more gas after you said that.
Yep. And I don't know if Select... he does have a lot of mines. If he gets good mine shots, I think he has a chance of pulling this, but he needs good mine shots.
Well, we'll find out now. Roaches moving on in first. Widow Mines are in front and behind, so he has a lot of levels. But the banelings are coming at different times. Will it be enough? 2-2 is finished.
None of the Widow Mines connecting on any of these banelings, but a lot of the Roaches did die. But still, it's just so many banelings left.
But you can see the power of 2-2 here. He is able to clean up the left side flank. He needs the banelings to wipe them out. Now banelings going over to the economy line of both the main and natural position.
Still,
killing a lot of SCVs. Oh my god. Yes, he is. 44 total SCVs have been killed so far. Income tab showing 64 to 21. Select holding on for dear life. He will be able to fend this off as two bunkers are there, filled with a lot of units. I mean, it comes down to his upgrade advantage that gave him that ability to defend, but it's only 1-1 against 2-2. It's not something crazy like 3-3. Something that he desperately needs. Now getting +2 melee attacks.
Not a bad trade for JonSnow, however. He did do a lot of damage to this attack. He cut a lot of workers, and he cut a lot of the units with Select. Right now this supplies 116 for JonSnow, and only 76 for Select. Which, I mean, considering it's a lot of unupgraded Roaches, it's not too bad for Select. But
so you're saying, can Select still play in this pretty standard? I mean, is he salvageable right now?
I think he is, because his army is comparable to the army of JonSnow.
I mean, his medevac count is only at 3, but it's still not bad, right? And into these little chokes, I mean, that's a great position to be attacking into, or defending into, rather. Losing those SCVs, though, definitely hurts. The mules, obviously, definitely hurts. And we'll find out what JonSnow looks to do now with his just overwhelm.
I think he wants to go for another timing. If I were JonSnow, I'd wait until I was about 170 to 200, somewhere in that supply range, and then you just attack with a ton of speed banelings, and Roaches. Because I mean, Select, in that first attack, he lost a lot of SCVs, so you severely damaged his economy, but you didn't kill, I mean, you killed some of his army, but not most of it. So after that, we saw about 22 workers for Select against 66 of JonSnow. So the supply and army was pretty equal, but JonSnow can kind of get a supply advantage in terms of army as he continues to make more Roaches and Lings and banelings. And that'll open up the timing attack at about 170 to 200 for JonSnow.
Okay.
And I think
I'd love him to do that too.
He's going for Hive now, so he can transition out of it. But I'd still like to see him attack at about 170, 180.
And he's going for the pathogen glands, of course, for those infestors, so they can pop out with fungal growths. Fungal growth, it's a nice transition, I think, after Zergling Roach Baneling. But some people like to go Hydras, I guess, to have that game-ending attack. I mean, talk to me a little bit about how infestors are going to be incorporated in here and how this is going to kind of shape the landscape of the future fights.
He's going to go for Ultralisk if he's going infestors. That's kind of the only use, in my opinion, of infestors these days. Because in the past, you'd use infestors to kind of DPS down the Marines. That doesn't work anymore. Terrans are too good at not clumping any of the Marines. And you just can't fungal them and kill units with fungals. They're only for lockdown, which can kind of work with banelings. But I mean, Terran isn't going to clump that much against Roachling Baneling. So you need the Ultras, because against the Ultras, Terran kites to deal with Ultras.
Yes.
And that'll clump up the bio, and that's when you lock them down, and that's when you kill everything. And I mean, the Hive also indicates that he's going for the Ultra Tech.
Sure. I mean, yeah, he could have easily just stopped on Lair and still gotten the infestors, but no, he's continuing on. We expect that. +3/+3, and the chitinous, or the adrenal glands, rather, is going to be researched. And now Select pushing out. Wow, what? He's at 128 supply, and he's pushing out at 20 minutes.
He
I'm
doesn't
scared.
have many SCVs though, so his army is pretty large right now. If you look, he has only...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He didn't rebuild as many SCVs as you might think. I think he should have rebuilt more, actually.
Oh, well, he needs to be careful because a lot of Widow Mines are up in front. They're going to detonate immediately from Baneling charges. And wow, Select just gets overrun so easily. Right before 3-3 about to finish, he would have had the upgrade advantage here. But unfortunately, he loses everything by the time 3-3 is going to finish.
And his economy is not that good right now.
Yeah, it's in shambles.
43 SCVs. You want about 60, maybe 65 or 70 right now.
Oh, gosh. Medevac in the top left-hand corner is trying to do a little bit of damage here, but it's not going to get anything done. I mean, it's almost dead, too.
Yeah, I mean, it can get picked off by a queen if JonSnow just goes and targets it down. It's only about 1 or 2 shots away from death.
He does have queen right around the corner.
He might just fungal at one of these investors. Oh, but none of them have energy. I think one infested Terran. Does an infested Terran have more range than a queen?
I have no clue.
But it doesn't matter. He coded anyway.
I think it has 5 range.
And just look at the supply now. 200 supply for JonSnow, 117 for Select. Even with his low SCV count, his army is still not nearly as big as JonSnow's. And I'd like to see JonSnow just invest this money into a lot of banings, and that's what he's going to do.
Gosh, this looks so scary. And of course, you can use the infested Terrans as ways to activate those Widow Mines, so he has big timing. He just first needs to identify where exactly those mines are.
Oh, and the perfect timing is Ultralisk are just now joining up with his army as well. And
oh, maybe he doesn't even have to use it. This is scary. And still, the Marine Heavy Army of Select is waiting over here. Unfortunately, he has no clue about the incoming Ultras, or if he does, he just has not.
Attack's coming because he's split up, but I mean, I just don't know if he has enough to deal with what JonSnow has out right now.
I don't think so, man.
I mean, JonSnow has a pretty big bank. He can rebuild a lot of units through the first engagement.
And he's just waiting for that +3/+3 to finish. I mean, they're just seconds away, you can see. Just 20 seconds. There's no reason to try to push the envelope and attack while you're at 2-2. I mean, it makes such a dramatic difference just to wait here.
Yeah, it's only 5 seconds away at this point. I think I'd like to see him attack as soon as that finishes.
And
I mean, he
we're
doesn't
gonna
actually
have
have to.
Nice fungal. And here's the big attack into the front. Zergling is going to head the charge a little bit just to pick up some of the hits. Nice Widow Mine shot on top of a lot of Banelings, but fungal growth locks a lot of these units down. Ultralists have crazy DPS, but units are on the high ground.
I mean, but there's infestors, so it's going to be tough, and he's going to lose his fourth base for sure.
Most certainly.
And look at the supply. JonSnow, even now he's using his bank, so it's 200 supply to about 100 of Select. And I mean, he has Ultralist too.
There's still a big bank too, which is so scary. Now pushing on in, JonSnow. Nope, he's going to back up. He doesn't feel confident just yet, of course.
Select has all of his upgrades at this point. It's just, you need that unit count, because less units dies to more units.
Yeah. Well, that's what it basically comes down to. Army tab, let's take a look. 118 to 78. Income tab, that's where you're going to see a big discrepancy. Units tab, it looks very, very grim for our Terran player. Just a simple 6 Widow Mines on the field. He needs a lot more than that to stop Hive Tech. And this just looks so scary, Ghoster User. I don't know what Select can do, but
his choices are limited. He's moving out with a double medevac drop, which is 20 less army supply he has in this defense as well.
Nice. Zergling goes up in front, takes the first Widow Mine shot. Now he's just going to go up the natural from 2 different sides.
Just so many units.
So many. I mean, it's just a complete overwhelm with the amount of bases he has over his opponent. He can do stuff like this. Even if he's cost inefficient, it still will work out. Infested Terran's going to be popped out into the production line. This could stop a lot of the Marauders that come to defend, but it doesn't really matter. Ultras are ravaging everything over here at the natural base. The 3rd is being cleaned out. In the meantime, there is a counter drop happening over in the 4th or 5th or whatever base you want to call this, but it's not going to be enough. Look at that bank. It's insane. 3K,
about
2K.
10 Ultralists. Actually, it's about 6 or 7 Ultralists just ravaging Select's main base right now. And Select has dropped 30 supply against the maxed out JonSnow.
And Zerglings are just going to defend this. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. JonSnow will advance on, ladies and gentlemen, into the decider. He will be in Challenger League for sure. He secured himself a spot. Unfortunately, Select will be knocked out. He will go on to face off against Revival. This is the decider, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we've all been looking for, and I know you guys are tuning in. Challenger League, you know, not a lot of people watch it. I know you guys are tuned in to see what happens with Naniwa. His fate, $500 on the line, because Naniwa said if anybody can take Revival out, that's the bounty.
Possibly